Oh man, look at you, my beautiful miniature. My beautiful Warhammer 40K miniature. This man right here. Wouldn't it be amazing if you could be put on this magic card? Yeah, that'd be amazing if these two universes could combine. If I could play a tabletop miniature game as cardboard. Wait a minute. Maybe if I touch them really hard and dream about it really hard, it might happen. Huh? What? Someone's calling me. Hello? Who's this? Wizards of the Coast? How'd you get my number? A multi-million-dollar corporation is calling me. Hello? What's this about? Huh? What do you mean 40K is a card game now? Look down. Oh! It is a card game now. Dreams really do come true. Hello everyone and welcome to Mama Dragon's TCG and Miniatures. Yes, if you didn't understand from the campy opening, I'm reviewing the Warhammer 40K made by Games Workshop crossover with Magic Gathering made by Wizards of the Coast. This is really, really cool. I remember when I first saw these were going to be coming out, I was ecstatic. I was like, when do these come out? I would have preferred a set to go along these commander decks. That would have been really nice. And also would have preferred to have two more races. You get the Necrons, which are here, Chaos, or apologies, the Tyranids, Chaos, and I already cracked open the Imperium, but the Imperium as well. So where are the Orcs? Where are the Eldar? Where are like the other two major factions that exist within this universe? I mean, sure, the Imperium covers like Space Marines, the Guard, the Adeptus Sororitas, and the Adeptus Mechanicus, but still, where's the Orcs? Where's the Eldar? I think they could have been really cool. The Orcs could have been just pure green. I don't know, and the Eldar could have been just pure blue. Maybe they'll do another crossover and release the others. I think that'd be cool. So anyways, this is the normal foiling of all these cards. There is another one, a more expensive version that foils all the cards. So we're gonna bust these open, we're gonna look at them all, and I'm just going to be excited. So anyways, as I stated, I had not realized it, but I was not recording when I first went through this. So I busted open the Imperium box and started going through it. So now that I know I am recording, this is the little box you come in that your deck can go into. I also got this Fabricate card, little tech priest fabricating. And now, let's get into the main set itself, the 100 card commander deck for the Imperium. Now, if you're not normal to commander is 100 cards actually it's a 99 card deck with one card being your commander. That's it's a legendary creature or a planeswalker that can be your commander. So let's do this. First up, we have Inquisitor Greyfax. Of course, the Imperium is all about white, blue, and black, and then she is one colorless as well. So anyways, what she has is she has Vigilance and she has Unquestionable Wisdom. Other creatures you control gain +1/+0 and have Vigilance, and Hunt for the Heresy. 1 and tap her. Tap target creature and opponent controls and investigates to basically make a clue token. That for 2 you can crack it to draw a card. Really cool. This is an Inquisitor. They basically hunt out Heresy, the Mutant, anything that is not for the Imperium, anything that threatens the Imperium or anything like that. And then we have Magnus Khelgar, Chapter Master of the Ultramarines, who of course has his Primarch back, Rupert Gilliman, or as many people like to call him, Robot Gorilla Man. Apologies to all my 40K fans, but it's just very fun. But anyways, here he is. He's just one more colorless cost than, of course, Inquisitor Greyfax. He has Double Strike, Master Technician. When one or more tokens into the battlefield under your control, draw a card, so it's not just creature tokens, any token that comes in. And then Chapter Master for 6, create 2 white Astarte Warrior creature tokens with Vigilance. So anyways, let's get through the set. We have they shall know no fear. This is basically what the Space Marines state, is that they shall know no fear, meaning that they always, they're fearless. They are made from the greatness of the Emperor. The Great Knight Paragon, Space Marine Scout, Thunderwolf Cavalry, Sicarian Infiltrator, as you know, had the Sanguarian Priest. I love how it's just a mix of basically everything that correlates to the Imperium. We got Deny the Witch, Primaris Chaplain, Sword to Plowshare, which is really interesting. This one's a really cool card. I love that a lot of the cards got reprinted. Like Sword to Plowshare, it's the one card where the character's holding the sword on his back. Now it's just a Leman Russ battle tank. That's really cool. Anyways, we have Reconnaissance Mission, Mortify, Mind Stone, the Skull Clamp as a servo skull. The Soul Ring looks so cool in this. Just delicious art on the Soul Ring. Talisman of Dominance, Talisman of Hierarchy, Talisman of Progress, the Arcane Sanctum, Ash Barons, Memorial to Glory, Arcane Signet, Command Sphere. The Command Sphere looks really cool too. It's all of their ships, their void ships as they like to call them. The Command Tower, Dismal Blackwater, Evolving Wild, Path to Ancestry, Scourged Barons, Terramorphic Expanse. Really cool about the Terramorphic Expanse. I love it's this hive city being trying to be invaded by demonic forces of the warp. Celestine, the Living Saint. This is actually one of the other creatures out of this whole commander thing that I really want to build around. She's got Flying and Lifelink. She's Healing Tears. At the beginning of your end step, return target creature cards with mana value X or less from your graveyard to the battlefield, where X is the amount of life you gain this turn. Really cool. I just love them. Celestine, of course, is the Living Saint. She's died and always come back to life. Defenders of Humanity. For the Emperor! Space Marine Devastators, Triumph of St. Catherine. I love it. I just love it. Oh man, the art looks so good. Ultramarines Honor Guard, Vexillus Praetor, Seraphim, the Sisters of Silence, Vanguard Superior, Agro Flagellant, Primaris Eliminator, Assault Intercessor, Belisarius Call. Ooh, really cool. So let's read him. He owns and pretty much operates all of the nature of tech from the Dectus Mechanicus. The Ultima Founding, you can tap him. Tap 2 untapped artifacts you control, create 2 white Astartes Warrior creature token with Vigilance. And then Masters of Machine, tap him. Tap X untapped creatures you control. Look at the top X cards of your library. You may reveal an artifact card from among them and put them into your hand. Put the rest of your deck in any order. Really cool. So basically really good with, artifacts. We have Birth of the Imperium, a saga. So his first is create a 2/2 white Astartes warrior creature token with vigilance for each opponent you have. Each opponent sacrifices a creature and then draw 2 cards for each opponent who controls fewer creatures than you. We have a Caladius Assassin, the Commissar Scanavia Renanier. Another, of course, a legendary creature. She's got leading from the front. Whenever Commissar Seraphim Renin attacks, each opponent loses X life, where X is the number of other attacking creatures. That's actually really cool for 1 white and black, for 1 colorless white and black. Summary Execution 2, cost of 2, sacrifice another creature, you gain 2 life and draw a card. Neat. The whole aspect of that is that the Commissars kill the Guardsmen if the Guardsmen retreat. Basically, somehow that gains morality to all of them. We got Company Commander, Cybernetica, Datasmith, the Exploitatory Librarian, Exterminatus. Basically, Exterminatus in the 40k lore is basically just blow everything up. The flush is weak. The Iron Hands. Inquisitor Eisenhorn, another legendary creature. You may reveal the first card you draw each turn as you draw. Whenever you reveal an instant or sorcery card this way, create a Cherubal, a legendary 4/4 black demon creature token with flying. That's really neat. Whenever Inquisitor Eisenhower deals combat damage to a player, investigate that many times. Really neat. Really neat. We got Niham She Marad. I think this is a rogue trader. Yes, it is. So let's read her legendary. Rogue trader. Whenever Niham She Marad deals combat damage to a player, you may have that player return target permanent card from the graveyard to their hand. If you do, that player chooses a permanent card in their graveyard, then you put into the battlefield under your control. That's actually really cool. Sister Hospitaller, Sister Repentia. The Golden Throne itself, where the God Emperor sits, where he asks for 1,000 souls to be sacrificed to him, or 1,000 psychers, I guess you should say, to be sacrificed to him. He's got arcane life support. If you would lose the game, instead of exile the Golden Throne, and your total life becomes 1. 1,000 souls die every day. Sacrifice a creature, add 3 mana of any combination of any colors. Really cool artifact. Inquisitor Rosette, the Knight Paladin, the Reaver Titan, Redemptor Dreadnought, Thunderhawk Gunship. I just love this. Bastion Protector, the collective effort. There's Robot Gorilla Man. Or Ruben Gilliman. Deploy to the front. Get up there, Guardsman. Entrapment Maneuver, the Catachan. Fell the Mighty. Hour of Reckoning. Launch the Fleet. Martial Coup. Utter End. Everflowing Chalice, Choked Estuary, Darkwater Catacombs, Exiled Orchard, Exotic Orchard. That's actually really cool. Port Town, I love it. I just love the art of that. Prairie Stream, Skycloud Expanse, Sunken Hollow, the Tranquil Clove, and we have, I'll just show here what the island art looks like. The swamp art, that's really nice too. The plains, yes, the guardsmen and their Lehman Russ. And of course, if you wanted to, a pretty card for if you just wanted to use this instead of, well, the other Inquisitor Greyfax. And then our tokens, Guardsmen, Catachan Guardsmen. I forget who these guardsmen are. They don't look like, the one. Astartes! And there you go. That is the deck for the Imperium. Neat. Oh, gotta love it. Oh, I'm gonna have to get some sleeves when I get around to it. All right, Necrons. Let's open some Necrons. This is another army I'm wanting to paint up. I have a neat little scheme for the Necrons. I just haven't, you know, working a full-time job doesn't mean I get a lot of time to like paint, because I try not to completely destroy this box, since I'd like to try to keep it for how cool it looks. And then I try to get it out. All right, the little box here for the Necrons. Little Necrons. So anyways, lore-wise for the Necrons, if you're not a 40K fan, the Necrons were known as a Necron tier, and then they were going to battle with the old ones, the original like creator race of the galaxy. Just so you also know, every box comes with this little disc to help you out with your life. I already have a life counter already, so I don't need it. But yes, so they made a pact with a being known as a star god that could kill the old ones. The issue was the star gods made them into these robot mummies that lost their minds and everything. So yeah, so they went to sleep for like 10,000 odds or for millennia, and now they're just waking up in the galaxy of war, and they've lost their literal minds. They're crazy mummy robots, but I love them. All right, first up, the Zagarath, the Silent King, the last king of the Necron tier before, of course, he became a Necron himself, a mummy robot. He does have the ability to control his mind as well, so now he has returned, of course, in the 9th edition to, of course, rule over the Necrons. So he has flying. My will be done. Whenever Zagarath, the Silent King, attacks, mill 3 cards. You may put an artifact creature card or vehicle card from among them. The cards milled this way into your hand. Really cool. Or the other major name in here that you could play this deck with is 𝐒𝐓𝐇𝐈𝐒, the Stone Lord. I forget which Necron dynasty he lives to. He's of course a Necron. He's got Pharaon. Whenever one or more artifact cards leave your graveyard, create 2/2 black Necron warrior artifact creature tokens. Grand strategist, at the beginning of your combat of your turn, another target artifact creature you control gains +2/+2 and gains menace to the end of turn. Really cool. So anyways, we have the flayed ones. The flayed one. These things are like creepy. They like to flay human flesh and put it over their robotic hides. Cool. Really creepy, but basically well off for the period of the endless war. Hexmark Destroyer. Plasmamancer. I think I'm remembering it's in the far future. In the far future, there is only war. So yes, there's only war in this universe. The Psychomancer, the 𝐒𝐔𝐄𝐄 Immortal, the 𝐒𝐓��𝐃 Destroyer, Triarch, Praetorian, the Knight Scythe, Defy, the Dread Return. Of course, the Necrons in the game can reanimate themselves. They actually do not die. They can reanimate themselves. So, Cranial Plating, Hedron Archive, Mask of Memory, the Soul Ring. Oh, that's actually really cool with the Soul Ring. It's the power source above their big old floating monarch thing. I forget the actual physical name. Baron Moore, Mirrored Landscape, Requiem Tower. That looks really cool too, the Requiem Tower. That's really neat. Darkness, go for the throat. Arcane Signet, the Command Spear. I love that it's the Command Spear that the Necron Lord holds. The Mind Stone, Thought Vessel, Unstable Obelisk, Wayfarer's Bauble, Desert of the Glorified, Polluted Mire, Volta Whispers. By the way, this is all completely black as well. All the Necrons are all mono. The Anakur the Traveler, another legendary creature here, where he has Lord of the Therion Legion. Whenever Akanar the Traveler attacks, you may cast an artifact spell from your hand or graveyard by paying life equal to its mana value rather than paying its mana cost. Really neat. Biotransference. Biotransference is how the Star Gods transformed the Necron tier to the Necrons. The Chronomancer, a Cryptek, Luminar Cinzarius, of course another legendary creature you can build a commander deck around. Secrets of the Soul, you can tap it, sacrifice another creature, add any amount of black mana to the sacrifice creature's mana value. Really neat. Locust Heavy Destroyer, Lichguard, Necron Deathmark, Necron Overlord, Out of the Tombs, Royal Warden, Shards of the Nightbringer. One of the, of course, the Catan, of course, were the Star Gods that fooled the Necron tier into giving up their souls and becoming mindless robots. Shard of the Void Dragon, 𝐒𝐓𝐃 Lord, Techromancer, their name is Death. Their number is Legion. Tombblade, Tezzeret the Infinite, another legendary creature. Death Touch, Prismatic Gallery. As long as Tezzeret the Infinite is on the battlefield, it has all activated abilities of all artifact cards in your graveyard. I forget the one that likes to like put stuff and put it like, he has like a big museum. He likes to store stuff. I believe it is Tezzeret the Infinite. Triarch Stalker, the War in Heaven. Yes, this is the war. I love that this the Saga card goes through the aspects of the life of the Necron tier to the Necron. So for 1, draw 3 cards and lose 3 life. 2, mill 3 cards, and then 3, choose up to 3 target creature cards with total mana that have air less in your graveyard. Return them to the battlefield with a Necromundus counter on it. Their artifacts in addition to their other types. Canoptic Scarab Swarm, Canoptic Spider, Canoptic Tomb Sentinel. By the way, the Necrons don't use like a traditional weapon. Their weapons are like phaser weapons that like disintegrate your atoms. Kynoptic Wraith, Converge of Dominion, Crypt Thrall, the Ghost Arc. The Monolith, yes. So the Soul Ring is the top of the Monolith, the energy source of the Monolith. Resurrection Orb, Spectre of the Eternal Glory, Tomb Fortress, Beacon of Unrest, of course, always reanimating the Reanimator, reanimating the Necrons. Living Death, Mutilate, Caged Sun, Endless Atlas, Gilded Lotus, Mystic Forge, and Sculpting Steel. Of course, here are some of the arts. Those were the 3 arts here. The laser beams, the land with, of course, the obelisks in the back, and the night scythes flying over the world. That, of course, is all of the swaps for this. Because again, it is mono black, so the entire mana is monocolor. The big fancy card for the Silent King, Necron Warrior, 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 Necron Warrior. Woo! Look at all the Necron Warriors. But yes, there it is. That is the man himself, the Silent King, or the Necrons. I love it. I really like the Necrons. I really think Black really does them well. All right. Tyranids, everyone. Let's look at Tyranids. So now this is just the Tyranids. This is also the Gene Stealer cult. So the Tyranids, for anyone who doesn't know, are biological monstrosities that grow around the galaxy, eating all the biomass on planets, and basically evolve through like a hive mind to how to defeat the defenders of the world. So yeah, they're pretty creepy. But the Gene Stealer cult are basically people who believe that they call it the four-armed emperor. Basically, that the Tyranids are godlike beings, and they prepare planets for their arrival. So that is a Gene Stealer cult. Basically, and also, by the way, they do get to be bio-merged with the Tyranids. So here, of course, is the Tyranid box with the Swarm Lord on the front. All right. Yes, the Swarm Lord. Anyways, the Tyranids, of course, are all hive-minded together, except, of course, the Gene Stealer cult. They basically are not hive-minded to the Tyranids, but will one day become part of the hive-minded of the Tyranids as they are converted into biomass, put into gelatinous pools, dissolved as the Tyranids consume the planet and turn into a barren rock. Anyways, we got the Swarm Lord. All right. Rapid Regeneration. He's 3 colorless, blue. He's green, blue, red. So this entire deck is about green, blue, and red. Rapid Regeneration. The Swarm Lord enters the battlefield with 2 +1/+1 counters on him. On it for each time it casts your commander from your command zone. That's actually really interesting. So basically, every time he comes out, he just gets a whole lot stronger. Xenos Cunning. Whenever a creature you control with a counter on it dies, draw a card. And for the Gene Stealer cult, Magnus Lucia Kane. Spiritual Leader. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. Psychic Stimulus. Tap it, add 2 colorless. When you next cast a spell with X in its mana cost or activate an ability with X in its activation cost for the turn, copy that spell or ability. You may choose a new target for that copy. That's really cool. Anyways, let's move forward. Gene Stealer Locust. Acolyte Hybrid. The Abominant. The Pure Strain Gene Stealer. Tyranid Invasion. And I think that's the Blood Angels in there. Cool. Ball. Yeah, Tyranids did invade Ball, and we're going to try to destroy it. Ball only survived by Primaris Marines arriving and a demon helping them. The Trigon Prime. The Venomthrope. Goliath Truck. Aether Eyes. The Tyranids are all psychic as well, and they have some thing called Shadow in the Warp. They can basically start removing psychic energy from the area, and everything around it is like the warp. So messages are sent through the warp, and because of this Shadow in the Warp, a lot of things don't get sent to worlds that are being attacked by Tyranids. So it's quite a hard thing to deal with them. Inspiring Call. Bred for the hunt. Hull Breach. Yeah, and their ships are their bioships are living as well, and they just drop down sea pods and then spread, and then these gelatinous pods create the Tyranids from them. Yeah, it's really weird. The Herald's Horn, the Soul Ring. That's really cool. It's the symbol of the Genestealer cult. Ash Barrens, Frontier 𝐕𝐈𝐃𝐄. I believe this is the first planet that actually got consumed by the Tyranids that was in the control of the Imperium. Unclaimed Territory, Cultivate, Explore, Farseek, Harrow, New Horizons, Overgrowth, Rampant Growth, Arcane Signet, Cave of Temptation, the Command Tower, one of the towers that the Tyranids start grow out of the planet as it's slowly being converted from biomass. Evolving Wilds, Genestealer Patriarch, basically the being that controls all of the pure strain Genestealers, but also, instills the nature of bringing the hive mind to the planet. Exocrine, the Red Terror, another legendary creature right here for red. Advanced species, whenever a red source you control deals damage to one or more permanents and or players, put a +1/+1 counter on the Red Terror. That's neat. Screamer Killer. Biofisk. Bone Saber. The Brood Lord. The Clamavis. The Haruspex. The Hierophant Bio-Titan. The Hormagon Horde. The Lictor. Nexus. Oh, the One Eye. Glad to see old One Eye here as a legendary creature. He's got Trample. Other creatures you control have Trample, which is really cool. When old One Eye enters the battlefield, create a 5 green Tyranid creature token. Fast healing at the beginning of your pre-combat main phase. You may discard 2 cards. If you do, return old One Eye from the graveyard to your hand. That's actually really cool. Spore Cyst. Termagon Swarm. The Trevagon. The Toxocrine, I love it. The Toxocrine is ripping apart a Space Marines there. The Tyrant Guard. Atalan Jekyll. The Death Leaper Terror Weapon. That's actually really cool, Death Leaper. It's also a legendary creature with Flash, Haste, and Flesh Hooks. Creatures you control that enter the battle of this turn have double strike. Nice. The first Trianic War. So the first war, or the first essence of when the Tyranids first appeared to the Imperium, is known as the first Trianic War. Basically, the worst planet to get hit by it was the Ultramarines, and of course then the second Trianic War ball got ripped apart as well. Yes, many Space Marines lost their life in the entirety of the first company lost their lives as well. You may put a creature card from your hand onto the battlefield. If this mana cost contains X, it enters the battlefield with a number of +1/+1 counters on it equal to the number of lands you control. And then for 2 and 3, double the number of each kind of counter on the target creature you control. Really neat. Gargoyle Flock. Greyon Stern the Calomorph. Another legendary creature. He's got Ward 2. Whenever this creature becomes the target of a spell or ability, the opponent controls, counter it unless that player pays 2. 3 auto stubs. Whenever another source you control deals exactly 1 damage to a permanent or player, the Calomorph here deals 2 damage to that permanent or player. The Malanthrope. The Mallock. The Ravenger. The poor guardsman about to be ripped apart. Shadow in the Warp. Tyranid Hurrieden. The Tyranid Prime. Winged Hive Tyrant. A Zoanthrope. A Starstorm. Abundance. Death's Presence, Hardened Scales, Icon of Ancestry, Cinder Gale, Exotic Orchard, Game Trail, Temple of Abandoned, Temple of Infamy, Temple of Mastery, Opal Palace, Path of Ancestry, Rugged Highlands, Terramorphic Expanse, which kind of actually makes sense, really good for the one and only. But I'd rather had not had the Chaos presence on here. I would have loved more of the Tyranid presence, not Chaos. And Thornwood Falls, and then for the mountains, the islands, and the forest. And of course, like everything else, the Swarm Lord Thick card. And then we got Tyranid, and well, that is it. Woo! Well, I love it. I love it so much. Good art on these cards, let me tell you. Well, anyways, we only have one left, and that is the one and only Chaos with Abaddon the Despoiler. All right, let's talk about our last commander here, Abaddon the Despoiler. All right, a little backstory of Chaos, because it's quite an interesting backstory. So anyways, Chaos exists within the Warp. The Warp, if you're unaware, is a plane of existence that exists around us that allows humanity to travel faster than light. The issue with the Warp is that's where the 4 demon lords stay. That is where Khorne, the god of war, bloodlust, and everything, lives. Nurgle, the god of pestilence, grandfather Nurgle, as many would call him. He is about pestilence and diseases. Tzeentch, the Changer, he's all about change. Anything can happen. He's always about probability, change, anything like that. And then finally, there is also Slaanesh, the god of pleasure and essence. So yes, there are 4 chaos gods. Abaddon is from the era known as the Horus Heresy, when Horus, one of the Primarchs and sons of the Emperor, went rogue and started worshipping the demon god. Started believing that the demon gods were the true gods of the universe. Just a quick look at the box here. I actually believe that, that the Emperor was wrong, and that the demons had shown him the truth. I believe it was Tzeentch who showed him it. So anyways, he began this mighty civil war. So after the Civil War was won by the forces of the Imperium, loyalists to the Emperor, they were pushed into the Eye of Terror, which is basically into the Warp, where many of the old Space Marine legions picked basically a side to serve for the Chaos God. Abaddon the Spoiler was one of the commanders for Horus. He, of course, then took Horus's Talon, fled into the Eye, and has been leading what is known as the Black Legion, a group of Chaos Space Marines that do not serve a specific Chaos God. But anyways, he's led 13 Black Crusades, destroyed Cadia, ripped a big tear into real space from the Warp, and now he leads Warp terror horrors across the galaxy of the Imperium. Oh, another commander deck I just realized. Where are the Tau? Tau are like fish people that are technologically advanced. Think of your manga robots. But anyways, enough about that. Let's look at Abaddon the Despoiler. He, of course, has Trample. He is 2 colorless, blue, black, red. The rest of the colors are all blue, black, red throughout the rest of the Chaos. And he has Mark of Chaos Ascendant. During your turn, spells you cast from your hand cost mana value X or less, and have Cascade, where X is the total amount of life your opponent have lost this turn. So really cool. And the other, of course, commander you can field for this deck is Be'lakor the Dark Master, a demon prince serving the Chaos gods. He is flying, Prince of Chaos. When Be'lakor the Dark Master enters the battlefield, you draw X cards and use X life, where X is the number of demons you control. Lord of Torment. Whenever another demon enters the battlefield under your control, it deals damage equal to its power to any target. Really cool. So anyways, let us begin. Heralds of Tzeentch. Nurgle's Rot. Again, Nurgle is all about pestilence. He likes making up the new brews to figure out what can kill a man. Nurgle actually invaded the homeworld of the Ultramarines, Ultramar, with of course Typhus being the demon Primarch of Nurgle, one of the surviving Primarchs after the Horus Heresy. The Blood Crusher of Khorne, Chaos Terminator Lord, the Herald of Slaanesh. The Noise Marines, this is the Emperor's children. They, of course, serve Slaanesh. The Seeker of Slaanesh, the Lost and the Damned, the Bio-Blight. Bionuminous Blast, Assault Suit, the Soul Ring. That's actually really cool, the symbol of chaos on it. Talisman of Creativity. I love this art. This is a symbol of Tzeentch, the god of change. Talisman of Dominance, the symbol of Khorne. Talisman of Indulgence, the symbol of Slaanesh. Interesting, they don't have a talisman for Nurgle. A little odd, but I guess Nurgle would probably more or less be green. Warren Power Stone, Baron Moore, Crumbling Necropolis. Looks like Nurgle has been hard at work at that. Molten Slag Heap, Khorne's Land, Temple of the False God. They consider the Chaos Space Marines and the Chaos, anyone who's beckoned to Chaos, all believe the Emperor is a false god. They believe the Chaos gods are the true gods. Brainstorm, Dark Ritual, Deny Reality, Command Sphere, Wayfarer's Babel. The command tower looks really, really cool. I'm not gonna lie. Dismal Blackwater, Evolving Wilds, Lord of Change, the Blight Grenade, the Great Unclean One, Mandate of Abaddon, Mortarion, Demon Primarch. So Mortarion leads the Death Guard, who serve Nurgle. And the Death Guard, just so you know, are all bloated and disgusting and basically so mutated by Nurgle's touch. So as Flying Primarch of the Death Guard, at the beginning of your instep, you may pay X. If you do, create X 2/2 Black Astartes Warrior creature tokens with Menace. X can't be greater than the amount of life you lost this turn. Nurgle's corruption against the Commissar, the Plague Drone, the Poxwalkers, Sloppity Bio-Biper, Tallyman of Nurgle, the Venom Crawler. Really cool, killing up some Tyranids there. Aspiring Champion, the Bloodthirster of Khorne, a Dark Apostle, Keeper of Secrets, Khorne the Betrayer, a psychopathic Space Marine from the World Eaters. I believe he is the second in command to Angron, the Primarch of the World Eaters. He's got Berserk. Khorne the Betrayer attacks or blocks each combat if able, which is really cool. Sigil of Corruption. When you lose control of Khorne the Betrayer, draw 2 cards, which is really cool. The Betrayer, if damage would be dealt to Khorne the Betrayer, prevent that damage, and an opponent of your choice gains control of it. Interesting. Night Rampager. Let the galaxy burn. Blood for the Blood God. The Chaos Defiler. Chaos Mutations. By the way, by joining yourself with the Chaos Gods, a lot of times they like to play little cruel jokes on you by giving you gifts. Those gifts sometimes aren't really what you think they are. More or less, they're simply just being mutated probably into a spawn or being mutated in something odd or crazy, basically, because whatever the gods wish it to be. Darkness Near, and by the way, the Chaos Gods are all actually battling each other for supremacy. I believe it. Lore canon-wise, Tzeentch is the only one to have actually won it all. You would think Khorne is, because he's the god of bloodshed and war and all that. But actually, Tzeentch actually didn't like it, so he reverted time so that he could continue to play the game. Yes, the man of all things weird. Exalted Flamer of Tzeentch, the Hell Brute, the Horus Heresy. I love this saga. This is probably one of the coolest sagas to tell about the nature of how the Horus Heresy went down, how Horus, the lost son to the Emperor, battled each other over dead Sanguinian Primarch of the Blood Angels, which of course would go into the Black Rage that affects all Blood Angels. And then, of course, after that, all the fleeting remaining Space Marine legions who, of course, were allied to Horus, fleeing to the Eye of Terror and then becoming the Chaos Space Marines. Of course, we have number 1, for each opponent gain control of it. For each opponent gain control of up to one target non-legendary creature that player controls, as long as the Horus Heresy remains on the battlefield, kind of telling the nature of Horus controlling the legions that were subservient to him. 2, draw a card for each creature you control but don't own. Really nice. And then starting with each player chooses a creature, destroy each creature chosen this way. Really cool. Of course, that is the fall, and that is the drive to chaos. Kill, maim, and burn. Lucius the Eternal. He has haste, armor of the Shrieking Souls. I believe Shrieking Souls might be for Slaanesh. When Lucius the Eternal dies, exile it and choose target creature an opponent controls. When that creature leaves the battlefield, return Lucius the Eternal from the exile to the battlefield under its owner's control. Magnus the Red, the Primarch of the 1,000 Suns. Too bad for his 1,000 Suns. The Space Marines are just dust inside their armor. Yes. It'd be great because I think Tzeentch wanted to do some magic-y stuff to them, and the main big bad sorcerer found a way to stop it, but he had to turn everyone into dust. That's why it's called All to Dust for the 1,000 Suns. He has flying, unearthly power, instant and sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less to cast for each creature token you control, which is really nice especially for blue-red. Blade of Magnus. Whenever Magnus the Red deals combat damage to a player, create a 3/3 red spawn creature token. So what Magnus the Red is all about is that he was a sorcerer. He could tap into the untamed power of the warp, which was forbidden in the time before the Horus Heresy. He accidentally, after he learned that Horus was going to traitor the Emperor, he sent a psychopathic message to the Emperor through the warp, which destroyed the Emperor's webwave portal that the Eldar use so they don't have to travel through the warp. So he got very mad and sent the Space Wolves, which are the hated enemy of the 1,000 Suns, to go kill and genocide off the 1,000 Suns as punishment. Yeah, the universe is not very friendly. Anyways, we have Miralith Vortex Beast, the pink horror, which can then split to the blue horror, which can split to the brimstone horror, horrors of Tzeentch, the ruinous powers, the Zangor Shaman, Past in Flames, when the Black Citadel, I believe it was called, when Abaddon threw the Black Citadel into Cadia to destroy it. Decree of Pain, Blasphemous Act, the Chaos Warp, Everbeat Warp, Storm Surge, Chromatic Lantern, Exotic Orchard, Foreboding Ruin, Sunken Hollow, Forgotten Cave, Path of Ancestry, Swiftwater Cliffs, Terramorphic Expanse, and then here we go. The lands, the mountain, the swamp, and the island. It's a little sad that they probably could have done something else for Slaanesh, because right here we have Khorne, Nurgle, and Tzeentch, but we don't have Slaanesh. A little sad. The big bad card for Abaddon the Spoiler. And then our things, we have a Plague Bearer of Nurgle. Look at the man there. And then we have a Spawn. Oh, and these actually are double-sided. Huh. I didn't no, I guess the spawns are double-sided with, so you have a Spawn or the Astartes Warrior, which is basically just a Death Guard soldier, which makes sense for, oh, we do actually have a blue horror as well. Really cool. All right, well, that is it. That is Abaddon the Spoiler. That is Chaos. Well, my overall thoughts, I love it. As a fan of the 41st, fan, I guess just to say, of Warhammer 40K, of the 42nd Millennium, and the dark sci-fi horror that this world brings, it is really cool just to see these decks. is just beyond cool that Wizards of the Coast decided to do something like this. I mean, it makes complete sense. These series really make really close together. Now, I wish that the Tau, the Eldar, and the Orcs all got a commander deck as well. I think that would have rounded out every one of the major races. But I do love that we got the Imperium, we got Necrons, we got Tyranids, and we got Chaos. I mean, these are probably one of the well-known and well-played standard armies throughout the thing. Sure, a lot of people love Tau, and I think manga robots would have been really cool for the game too, but maybe that's too futuristic for Magic the Gathering. But I don't know. The Orcs would have been really cool. I think they could have done a lot of stuff with the Orcs. The Orcs are all about spamming and wog and battling everything. I think if they did another wave, I think there would probably be the Eldar, the Orcs, and of course the Tau, and then maybe the new Boltan as well, the new Space Dwarves as well. But I do want to say on another note, these apparently are very hard to find and very expensive. A friend told me these were like 65 bucks at like a Walmart. I don't really know what I paid them at Valkyrie Vault, but I'm thankful for Valkyrie Vault. I actually got called the day after I went to try to pick them up, the day of release, that they got short printed, and I should say short printed. They got sent not their full amount, so I couldn't be able to pick up my pre-order. So I'd have to wait for a reprint to come or a reshipment to come to them. I was glad someone decided not to go through with their pre-order. I got the boxes, and of course, then the owner of Valkyrie Vault, a shop near me where I bought them, local shop, support your local shops, just said, well, keep the boxes around. I would say sell them online and double your price, what you're getting from them. I mean, funny enough, this also came out like at the 30th birthday, the 30th birthday of Warhammer 40K. So it's very interesting indeed. Well, that is it. Do know down in the comments, let me know your thoughts on all of these commanders decks. Have you picked them up? Have you found them? Are you having trouble finding them? Do you want to grab them? Which one would you rather play? Are you for Chaos, the Imperium, Necrons, or the Tyranids? Personally, I'm just going to have fun having them around for collective purpose. Even if I never play with these, I just like them for the collector's purposes. They're iconic. They're in the world I love. So if they just go up on a shelf and that's where they stay, more at them. And now I will be getting some sleeves for these so they can be well more protected, and rather than in these little boxes without sleeves. So gotta sleeve these up. But anyways, again, let me know down in the comments, and do hit the subscribe button, do hit the like button, and do hit the bell button so that you get notified for when my videos go live for you. And we'll see you here next time on Mama Dragon's TCG and Miniatures.